If you're a beginner and just transitioning to eating more plant-based, it can be tricky, but I have a simple trick for you today. Anytime you used to make chicken-based recipes, now just make them with chickpeas. And I wanna show you how simple this can be with 3 easy beginner recipes. Let's start by making sweet mustard chicken wraps. And by chicken, I mean chickpeas. I'm gonna quickly cook my wrap, and I'll open up my can of chickpeas and rinse and drain it. You'll grab a bowl and we'll quickly mix together the salad dressing ingredients. All it is 4 tablespoons of hummus, your favorite kind of hummus. You can do homemade hummus too. Next, you'll add either 1 tablespoon of honey or 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. So if you're going completely vegan, you'll wanna make sure it's maple syrup and not honey. And then 1 tablespoon of mustard. We'll mix these together into this nice little sauce. Then you'll add in your can of chickpeas and just fold it in. Now you can keep it as is if you want. You can also use a little potato masher and mash it up just a little bit. You'll chop up your favorite veggies. I'm just gonna do a cucumber, tomato, and avocado. Sometimes we overcomplicate dinner, but it can be this simple. Also add in some spinach. Perfect. And we take our wrap, add in as much of the chickpea mixture as we want, usually about 3 to 4 tablespoons. Then add your cucumbers, tomatoes, avocado. Now to bring out the flavor of the avocados, I like to add just a dash of everything but the bagel seasoning. And then we'll top it off with some spinach and try to close this thing. Yum. Lunch or dinner can really be that easy. Opening up a can of chickpeas is so much faster than having to marinate and cook chicken, and it is delicious. Seriously, try this one out for yourself. So simple, so tasty, so good. This like really is good though.
It's good.
Next, we're gonna make an easy chickpea curry on top of potatoes. We'll scrub 4 potatoes, and then we'll put these in the microwave for 12 minutes. And we'll chop an onion, then we'll saute the onion. I'll add some water to help water saute. Water sauteing is just so much easier and faster than using oil. Not to mention, less caloric. Then we'll add 3 cloves garlic and start to add all the spices in. It's 2 tablespoons of curry powder, 2 teaspoons of cumin, 2 teaspoons of coriander, 2 teaspoons of paprika. All these spices should be amazing. So much flavor. And then 2 cans of diced tomatoes. I always like petite diced tomatoes, they're my favorite. But any work, if you don't even like to have chunks of tomatoes, you can also put them in a blender. Then we'll add a can of coconut milk. I'm using light coconut milk. And we'll add just a little bit more water, so about half a cup of water, 1/4 to a half a cup. Then you'll drain and rinse 2 cans of chickpeas. And we'll add the chickpeas. Perfect. This is optional, but I'm gonna add just a teaspoon of veggie broth bouillon paste, just to give it a little more flavor. If you don't have this on hand, you can also use salt, just to add a little bit more flavor to this, but just a teaspoon here, and we'll let that simmer together. So then after that veggie bouillon paste has kind of mixed into everything, then you'll wanna taste it and see if you need to add more salt. Yeah, I think I'm gonna add just a little bit more salt. And do about 1 teaspoon salt. I like light salt, keeping it light. All right, we'll taste it again. Yeah, it's good. Time to grab the potatoes. They're nice and done. Woo. This meal is made so that you can just take 1 potato, chop it up, and then add that mixture on top as like a baked potato topper. And that's delicious too, but since I'm gonna feed my family and some of them will get picky, I'm just gonna cut up the potatoes and add the potato directly to the mixture. And then it's just easier to feed my family, but it's actually really yummy. Like if you have a potato bar, making that to put on top of your potatoes as a topper is so good. Again, just roughly chopped. I'm adding it all in, and this way my kids will eat it all because they won't have a choice to be picky, and sometimes they'll choose just to have potatoes. So this way they can't eat just potatoes. It's like a stew, super good. I turned the heat off, and so I'll finish this off with the zest and juice of a lime. Don't skip out on this last step, it adds a lot of flavor. You can add more salt and pepper to taste. A little bit of pepper. Top it off with some fresh cilantro. Yum, 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 yum. I did not add any spices to this, but you can add jalapeno. I just know my kids won't eat it if I did, but it's really good. It's super yummy, super filling. Any type of curry that you may have made with chicken, you can easily make with chickpeas. And I like the potatoes. I like that it mixes things up, so it's not always rice and curry. Before I get to the last recipe, I just want to tell you that all these recipes today are from our summer meal guide. And if you want a free 1-week meal guide so you can get a taste of what our seasonal meal guides are like, then click on the link below so you can grab your free 1-week meal guide. It's delicious. Let's finish it off today with a super easy chicken salad. Now, growing up, I would go to baby showers or bridal showers and they'd always have the chicken salad croissant sandwiches. So delicious. And guess what? You can still make that, but this time with chickpeas instead of chicken. And we're gonna use tofu instead of mayo. Let me show you how. Let's start by making the dressing by blending 1 cup of silken tofu. So you'll just open up your tofu and then put about a cup inside. Now, if you have soy allergies, you can do cashew cream instead. So it would be 1 cup of cashews and about 1/4 cup of water. And you would blend that instead of using silken tofu. It's not pretty, but that's about a cup. And then I'll save this and make a tofu pudding later on. Then you'll add the juice of half of a lemon, which is about 1 tablespoon. Next, we'll add 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, 1 and 2. 1 tablespoon Dijon mustard, and 3 tablespoons of maple syrup. We'll add 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, and we'll finish it off with a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, or a little more if you like it a little more salty, but 1/2 teaspoon, we'll start there. We'll blend everything together. Now, a smaller blender would obviously be better, but I don't have one, so. All right, we'll add this to a bowl and then we'll add the rest of our ingredients. We'll add our can of rinsed and drained chickpeas. Then we'll chop up some celery. So you'll add about a 1/2 cup of celery. And then I have a super small apple. We'll add a handful of grapes. And I know I could just have them, but while the chopper's going, why not just use it, you know? And then I want to finely chop a red onion, so I'm actually not going to use the chopper. I could switch out the blade, but it's just going to be faster to just chop it right here. It's about 1/4 cup, so just super, super fine. Just enough to add flavor, not enough that my kids are like, ew, what's in here? So I'll add in the onion, and we'll add in the rest. One final thing, we're gonna add some fresh dill. If you do not have fresh dill, if you just have dried dill, that works too. It's about a tablespoon of dried or fresh dill. I'll chop it up nice and small. And then if you really want it to kind of taste like chicken, you can add any type of poultry seasoning, and it doesn't have chicken in it. It just has herbs and spices that you usually flavor poultry with. And so there's one from Trader Joe's, and it's like a vegan chickenless seasoning salt. And you can add, you can add some of that in as well, or any other kind of chicken flavoring. Let's mix that together. Now it's a little liquidy, so you could actually, instead of using silken tofu, you can use more of a firm tofu and it won't be so liquidy. You can also use, again, cashews with a cup of cashews with 1/4 cup of water instead, and it will be a little thicker as well. I'm just gonna add a little bit more dill. Perfect. And we can add this on top of a bed of lettuce. We can add it in a sandwich. I'm gonna quickly put it in a pita. Here it is in our little pita. That's good. Super fresh, light, such a great go-to. And I love that if you accidentally left this out in your car, you wouldn't get sick like you would if it was a real chicken salad sandwich. The dill, such an easy replacement. Chicken for chickpeas. If you like this video, I know that you'll like our other videos where I show you super simple, easy vegan beginner recipes.